Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome. Today's topic is the 1872 Cleveland Forest City NA baseball season. So the Forest Cities had a tough year in 1872. Their record was 6-16. See, they weren't playing a lot of games back then. A lot of people only had one day off, and Sundays off. They're generally playing on Sundays, although eventually City of Cleveland banned Sunday baseball, which was problematic for the professional teams. At any rate, the Forest Cities in 1872 were 6-16. They finished in 7th place out of 11 teams, 20 and a half games behind the first place Boston Red Stockings. And again, they were playing in the National Association of Professional Baseball Players, also known as the National Association, or the NA for short. So the standings for that year: first place Boston Red Stockings finished in first with a record of 39-8. So that meant they were the champions for baseball in 1872. And there were no playoffs, so if you finished in first, you were the champion. And or as they like to say in baseball, they won the pennant. Second place was the Baltimore Canaries, who were 35-19. Third place, the New York Mutuals, 34-20. Fourth place, the Philadelphia Athletics, 30-14. Fifth place, the Troy Haymakers, from Troy, New York. They were 15-10. Sixth place, the Brooklyn Atlantics, 9-28. Seventh place, the Cleveland Forest Cities, 6-16. Eighth place, the Middletown Mansfields, must be Mansfield, Ohio. They were 5-9. Ninth place, the Brooklyn Eckfords, 3-26. 10th place, the Washington Olympics, who were 2-7. And in last place, 11th and last place, the Washington Nationals, who did not win a game, were 0-11. So for the Cleveland Forest City team, again, our catcher was Deacon White, who was a tremendous player. He hit 339. 0 home runs, 22 RBIs, and he was the player manager, and so they player manager for the last two games, and his record was 0-2, so he was a manager at the very end of the year. At first base, we had a new player, Joe Simmons, hit 256, 0 home runs, 9 RBIs. Joe Simmons was an outfielder, first baseman. He was from New York City. Died in Jersey City, New Jersey in 1901 at age 56. His career average was .221, 58 games, 45 runs scored. He played for the Rockford Forest Cities, that's Rockford, Illinois, Chicago White Stockings, Cleveland Forest Cities, the Keokuk Westerns from 1870 to 1875. He's also a manager of the Keokuk Westerns and the Wilmington Quicksteps. He's buried in Bayview, New York Bay Cemetery in Jersey City. His birth name is Joseph C. Chabriel, but he came to be known as Joe Simmons. Charlie Sweezy was our new second baseman. Sweezy hit .281, 0 home runs, 6 RBIs. Sweezy was a second baseman from New York, New Jersey. Died in Newark in 1908 at age 60. His career average was .194, 0 home runs, 39 RBIs. The teams he played for include the Irvington of Irvington, New Jersey, Buckeye of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, Washington Olympics, Cleveland Forest Cities, the Boston Red Stockings, Baltimore Canaries, Brooklyn Atlantics, St. Louis Red Stockings, Cincinnati Reds, and the Providence Grays between 1866 and 1878. He's also the manager for the St. Louis Red Stockings in 1869. And the Cincinnati Red Stockings were the first fully professional baseball team. Charlie Sweezy was paid $800 during the 1869 season. He was a good fielder, light hitter. Okay, Jim Holdsworth was our new shortstop. Holdsworth batted .300, 0 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. Holdsworth was from New York. He died in New York City in 1918 at age 67. Shortstop, he hit .291 for his career, 432 hits, 221 runs, and 319 games. He played for the Union of Morrisania, the Cleveland Forest Cities, the Brooklyn Eckforts, the New York Mutuals, Philadelphia White Stockings, Hartford Dark Blues, Troy Trojans, and Indianapolis Hoosiers from 1870 to 1884. They called him Long Jim. He's interred at the Woodland Cemetery in Bronx, New York. Jim Holdsworth. Ezra Sutton was back at third base. Had a pretty good year. Hit 280, 0 home runs, 10 RBIs. We had a new outfielder, Scott Hastings, hit 391, 0 home runs, 16 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. He was the manager for most of the year, as well as an outfielder, and they didn't keep track of whether the guys played left field, center field, or right field. His record as manager was 6-14 when he was replaced near the end of the year. Hastings was a catcher-manager outfielder from Hillsboro, Ohio. He died in Sawtell, California in 1907 at age 60. His career average was 279, 0 home runs, 138 RBIs. He played for the Rockford Forest Cities, the Cleveland Forest Cities, Baltimore Canaries, Hartford, Connecticut Dark Blues, the Chicago White Stockings, Louisville, Kentucky Grays, the Cincinnati Reds between 1869 to 1877. He also managed the Rockford Forest Cities and the Cleveland Forest Cities in 1872. Yeah, he was, so anyway, so that's Scott Hastings. Very good. Art Allison was back as a regular outfielder, hit 264, 0 home runs, and 8 RBIs. Charlie Pabor was another outfielder and pitcher, as his average was 207, 0 home runs, 7 RBIs, and as a pitcher, Charlie Pabor was 1-1 with an ERA of 4.00, 2 games, 2 starts, 2 complete games. Jim Carlton was at first base, was a first baseman, and Carlton hit 316, 0 home runs, and 4 RBIs in 7 games. Martin Mullen was another guy who played outfield. He played in 1 game, did not get a hit. Mullen was from Cleveland, Ohio, died in Cleveland in 1915 at age 63. The 1 game he played in was on August 17, 1872. He was hitless in 4 at-bats, scored a run, and he played right field. He played because of an accident. Ryan Walters, the regular outfielder, swallowed a chaw of tobacco and could not play. Mullen, a local amateur, was called into action and made his pro debut just that 1 game in the majors. Martin Mullen. Ryan Walters was a pitcher. He hit 232, 0 home runs, 11 RBIs, and as his pitching record, he was 3-6 with an ERA of 6.09, 12 games, 8 starts, 5 complete games. Walters was from Nieuweschans, Netherlands, in Europe. He died in Newark, New Jersey in 1917 at age 74. Pitcher outfielder with a career record of 19-23, an ERA of 3.90. He hit 318 for his career as a batter. Walters played for the Irvington of Irvington, New Jersey, the New York Mutuals, the Cleveland Forest Cities, the Elizabeth, New Jersey Resolutes from 1866 to 1873. In 1871, he was the RBI champion. He's the first Dutch pro baseball player, primarily a pitcher, also played outfield. Ryan Walters. Al Pratt was another pitcher, was the primary pitcher. As a hitter, he had 277, 0 home runs, 12 RBIs, and as a pitcher, his record was 2-9 with an ERA of 5.79, 15 games, 12 starts, and 8 complete games. So that's the story of the 1872 Cleveland Forest City baseball team. The team folded after the year. They didn't have a very good record, and the attendance was down. So it was a business, and they couldn't. And so they went out of business. And there was no professional baseball in Cleveland for the next 7 years until 1879. And in the meantime, there was sandlot baseball and amateur baseball, and people playing for fun, not getting paid. So anyway, God bless the fellows, the guys who played for the Cleveland Forest Cities in 1872. And God bless everyone else associated with the team, including the fans, especially the Civil War veterans who had popularized the game, who had learned the game during the Civil War from various states, and brought it home and got to see it become professional and become our nation's national pastime. Captains of the Cuyahoga, lovers of Lake Erie, Terminal Tower Power, fans of the Free Stamp statue, Tribe Browns and Cavs rule, Cleveland, city of champions. Cleveland is the best location in the nation on the north coast of America. New York is the Big Apple. Cleveland is a plum. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.